Welcome to Lab 22 and day 11 and 12. Yes, you guessed it right. This lab will actually span 2 days. Okay, it's a very big lab. So in our previous lab, what we did is we actually created this simple customer data entry.aspx and we actually loaded the data into this data grid over here. And now it is time to go ahead and write these functionalities, that is add, update and delete. So what we'll do is let's start first writing the add functionality. So let's start writing some code. So let's go to our Visual Studio. Let's go and open our page customer data entry.aspx, and the first thing, as we said, we'll write is the add logic. So let's select this button, this add button over here. Let's double click and we're going to go and write our logic of adding over here. So logic of adding, right? Now the next thing what we'll do is we'll go to our Windows form and we'll copy paste the add logic which we have written in our Windows form, and we're going to go and paste it into this ASP.NET application here. So if you remember right, our Windows form, that is frm create customer. So whatever logic we have typed over here, right, this complete logic, I'm going to go and copy paste it. So I'm going to do a control C here. Now remember that whatever I'm doing here is not really a good idea. But let's first try to complete this screen and then we'll try to reiterate and see that how we can make it better. Okay, so the first target is let's try to go and complete this screen here. Let's try to make at least the basic functionality, that is insert, update and delete, work, and then later we'll see that how we can go and improve the code and make it much better. So I'm going to do a control C and then I'm going to do a control V into this btn add logic over here, right? Now you can see that we are getting some red errors over here. So let's try to solve each one of them. So let's start from the top here. So now you can see over here, if you remember that we had a class called as common code class. So if you remember, we had this class, and this class we had created to actually write some common logic of validation over here. So for now I'm going to go and delete this because I'll show you later on how to do validations in ASP.NET in a better way. So for now we'll just go and delete this. Now you can see that we have a couple of more errors here, but these errors are because the control names which we have kept in our form and in our ASP.NET pages are different. So in other words, for example, if you see in frm create customer, right, this mail radio button is by the name radio mail, right? But if you see in our customer data entry.aspx, it's actually mail. Okay, so we just need to go and fix the names here. So we'll just say mail.checked, right, painting.checked, married.checked. So it's just that the control names are different. Now this load customer function, right, we have created with the name load customers. So we need a S there. So, and currently we don't have any method called as clear data, but probably it's a proper time we go and create this method clear data. Or rather what we'll do is let's go and copy paste it. So just let's go and copy paste this clear data function from here, control C. Let's go back here and say control V. Okay. So again just we need to fix the control names. I'm going to just quickly go and fix the control names, right? It's a bad way of doing things. Copy pasting is not a good way of doing things, but as I said, what we'll do is we'll first go and make this application running here, and then we'll see that how we can make improvements on it. So painting, reading, great. So once the end user goes and presses this add button, it will actually go and take all the data and call the insert customer function from a data access layer, insert it, and then it will go and refresh your data grid, and also it will ensure that the data gets cleared from all the UI controls so that you are ready to go and input the next data, right? So let's go and try to build this application first, just to ensure that we don't have any errors, and we don't have any errors. And let's do a control F5. So there it is running. and there it is. So let me go and try to add a name here. So I'll just say my kid's name, Aditya, India, male, reading, unmarried, and let's say add. And you can see that in the down below he has entered Aditya into the database, right? So that's great. So you can see that we just copy pasted the code from a Windows form, and we were able to go and run this what you call add functionality from the ASP.NET screen. Now the next thing what we would like to do is we would like to go and implement the update and delete functionality. Now in order to implement the update and delete functionality, the first thing what we have to do is we have to ensure that we should be able to go and select the record into the UI controls at the top, right? So the first thing is, as an end user, you would like to go and select the existing record, and then you can go and update and delete the record. For the add, we don't need any kind of selection, because you just put the values, you add it, and it goes to the database, right? So the first thing what we would like to do here is that we would like to use some way by which we can go and select this record, because if we don't select the record, then we can't do update and delete. So in order to go and select this record from the grid, what we have to do is we have to go to the properties, and you can see that there is a nice option here saying auto generate select button. So we have to have some kind of a selector over here in every row, which will help us to go and select the record. So you can see this auto generate select button here. If you make it true, right, and if you see now, you can see that what exactly it means. In other words, now if you run this application here, you have a mechanism by which you can go and select a record. So if I do a control F5, so you can see now you have a mechanism by which you can go and select a record, right? So once you put this select hyperlink onto the data grid, the next thing is that if somebody goes and selects a record here, we should be able to display that record onto this UI over here, right? So that the the end user can do update and delete. So let's go back to Visual Studio. Let's go and double click on the grid, and let's go and write some code here, which will help us to select the customer, right? Help us to select and display the customer details on the screen, right? So the code will go here. Now as soon as user selects on the grid, this event will be fired. That is the grid customer underscore selected index change event. So what we'll do first is, we'll go and clear data, okay? Because if there is any kind of data which is previously selected on the screen, we would like to first go and clear it, and then later on we would like to go and select the data which is currently clicked, okay? So now in order to display the customer data, what we will do is, let's go back to our Windows form. If you remember, right, in our Windows form we had a very nice function here called as display customer, and this display customer actually helped us to go and display the customer data on the screen. So what I'll do is I'll go and copy paste this code onto our aspx.cs file here, the behind code file, okay? And as soon as the end user selects the grid, right, first we'll go and clear the data, and then we will go and call this display customer function to go and display the customer data on the screen. Now I do understand that many people would be raising their eyebrows here, saying that hey, this is a lot of copy pasting, lot of duplication. I mean to say, display customer here, display customer on the Windows form, and tomorrow if you want to go and change something in the display customer, we have to change all over the places. So I do understand the concerns, but for now let's try to complete this project. The way we have centralized our code for data access, as the video training moves ahead, right, somewhere down the line I'll show you how to go and remove this duplicate UI code as we have done for data access layer. So if you remember, right, our data access layer currently is not scattered all over the places, it is centralized and we reuse it. So the same thing we'll do for the UI code later on, but for now, just let's try to complete this practical. Also, you can see that we have some couple of errors here. Let's try to resolve one by one. Let's start with the easiest one. You can see that it says that this data set is not found here because we have not imported using system.data, right? So that should remove that error. So that error is gone. That's good. And also there are some couple of other errors here. For example, you can see CMB countries do not exist. Why? Because in our Windows form we have named the combo box as CMB countries, but I think over here it is DDL countries, right? If you see in our Windows form, the radio button's name was radio mail, but here it is just mail. So let me just go and fix all this. Must be I should have just kept the same names, but for now let's just go and fix all these things. So painting.checked, reading.checked, married.checked, and unmarried.checked. Now you can see that we have an error here saying that there is no extension method called as checked, or there is no method called as checked. Okay, and that is but obvious because this married is the name of the checkbox, as well as we have one local variable here called as married. So if you see here, there is a local variable as well called as married. So because of this, there is a confusion. So what we'll do is we are going to go and change this to be married. B stands for Boolean. So we'll just change to be married, right? Okay, and be married, right? So that should get rid of the error. So in other words, this be married is a local variable and this married is a checkbox. So you can see now, there is no errors over here, right? That's great. Now there is one more final error which is pending here, and that is saying that this display customer actually needs an input called as customer code or the customer name. So you cannot call the display customer without any inputs, right? So what we'll do is, whatever customer name the user has selected from the grid, that value we will pass to this function. Okay, so in other words, we need to get the selected customer name by the end user, from the grid. Okay, so let's do that. So let's declare a variable here called as str customer name. So this variable will have the selected customer name which the end user has selected from the grid, and we'll say here grid customers dot rows and whatever is the selected index. Okay, and from that we'll say dot cells. Now the customer name is in the first cell. Okay, means now you can see that the first column has the select button, so there is no data over here, but the second column will have the customer name. So we'll say now this select, wherever you see the select here, is actually 0, this is 1, this is 2. Okay, so because our customer name will be in the first column here, so we have to say dot cells dot 1, okay, dot text, whatever is the text inside it. That's it. And this customer name we will pass to this display customer function here. So this customer name. Great. And let's go and build this project. So build, and there are no errors here. So there it goes. So 0 errors. Good. So let's put a debug point here and let's go and run this project. And let's see that if we can see the customer data when we select the customer. So there our application is running. So let's go and select the first customer here from this grid. So I'm going to click on select here, and let me do a step over. So you can see that I have selected Shiv here. So I should see Shiv in the customer name. Yes, I can. And let me just go debug inside, and there it goes in the data set, and you can see it's fetching me the appropriate data. So that is good. So now you can see I can see Shiv, okay, he's a female, okay, and that is reading and married and whatever it is. And if I click on XYZ, then I should see XYZ. So let me just ensure that if this code is running properly. Yes, I can see XYZ. Let me see Aditya. So I can see Aditya, he's a male, he likes reading and looks fine, right? Great. So you can see now how when we are selecting the data, the appropriate data is getting displayed on the user interface there, right? So the next step now is to go and implement the update and delete functionality. So in other words, we have completed add, we have completed select. Now we need to ensure that we complete the update and the delete functionality. So what we'll do is let's go and stop this debugging here, and let's go to customer data entry.aspx. So we will write the update code in this update button, click here. So here the update logic will go, okay, and on the second button, that is delete, right, here the delete logic will go. So let's first go and implement the delete logic. Now if you remember, right, our CLS SQL Server class, it already has the functionality which will help us to go and delete a customer, right? So we're going to use the same functionality, increase reusability, right? Now remember that when the end user goes and selects a customer, right, the name of the customer is displayed on this txt customer name, the text box, right? So I'm going to go and say, okay, whatever is currently selected or displayed on the text box, take that name and delete this customer, okay? So dot text, right? And then finally what we'll do is we'll go and clear the we'll just go and clear the UI so that the stale customer data is not seen, and also we'll ensure that we go and load the customers collection in the grid so that we see the recently updated records, right? So we are using the CLS SQL Server to go and delete the customer, then we are clearing the data, and then we are loading the grid again so that we see the fresh data. Great. So let's go and run this application. Let's see if it works or not. So let's try to see if our code is working. So let me just go and select this last record, WED FD SDF, and let's hit delete. So you can see now it has deleted the record from the grid, as well as he has cleared the user interface. So if I go and select this 12 and again I say delete, you can see the 12 has gone from here as well as cleared the UI. So great. So our functionality is working perfectly well and it is nice. Now the final thing what is pending is to go and implement or write the update logic, right? So in other words, now we need to go and do this. Now again, things are all almost same here. In other words, if you remember, right, again our CLS SQL Server class, right, already has a function which helps us to go and update customer. So we just need to go and call this, and it should just go and update the appropriate customer with the new data. Okay. Now this update logic, I would like to give the students as a homework. Okay. So till now, till this 12th day, I have been doing it all things myself, and people were probably just watching it. I don't know if you guys are really practicing yourself or not. So what I would expect is that this update logic, I want you to write it yourself. Okay. As I've already said, everything is at place. In other words, you just need to go and invoke this update customer function here. If you wish, what you can do is that you can go and see the frm create customer.cs, the Windows form, where we already have implemented this update customer logic. So you can probably see this and try to implement the same thing over here, right? So this thing I'm giving it as a homework. In case you are not able to do it, please ask for the source code. Connect us on Skype on Questpoint Support and Questpoint Support 1. We are more than willing to help you out. We have flashed our phone numbers. We have given our email address. We have given you the Skype ID. So we are reachable, everywhere. Okay. So in case you are not able to do this, we'll send you the source code so that you can then see that how things are done. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. In this video, we implemented add, select, update, and delete functionality on the customer screen. Now for the next day, that is day 13. So till now we have completed 12 days. Now from day 13 onwards, we are going to go professional, I'll say. So till this day 12, right, we have implemented two-tier architecture. Things are looking good, but still, there are a lot of loose ends. Like, for example, still we have a lot of duplicate code. Still there are a lot of redundant code in the user interface of both WinForms as well as, the web application. So what we'll do is, from day 13 onwards, we're going to start using three-tier architecture. So currently till now, we have implemented two-tier architecture. In other words, we have a UI and then we have the data access layer. Now what we'll do is, on day 13, we will implement three-tier architecture. And one of the important prerequisite for three-tier architecture is object-oriented programming. So what I really wish is, again, I have been telling this previously also, and this is your last chance must be. So before even you enter day 13, my humble request would be to go and see the object-oriented programming question and answer video series, which we have hosted on Questpoint VD, and then start seeing the series. So I hope that this video has helped you out. In case you have problems, in case you have questions, please add us on Questpoint Support. Add us on Questpoint Support 1. We have flashed our phone numbers on the website. We have our email address. We are reachable everywhere. So we want to help out the freshers so that they learn these things, and they become good programmers. So see you on day 13, 3-tier architecture.